Because I believe that not everybody needs to see a psychologist. Some people just need to talk it out.
Do you think social media has that influence on our mental health?
I think one important thing to note about mental disorders is that it affects your productivity. Because of that, yes, our society is not even friendly at all, but then men go through mental health issues. So someone that has OCD will wash his or her hand and then they keep scrubbing, just because they feel it's not neat. Their hand will be turning red, but then they still keep scrubbing. I feel like at this point, the world isn't even looking at you are a man, you are a woman anymore. Because suicide is not even looking at gender.
What's up, guys? I want to welcome you back to another episode of the Meet Personality Show with your one and only IT to the OHS with the art. Itohowo articulate. I want to especially appreciate you for always coming back to watch the shows. Thank you so much for watching the previous episode. If you are yet to watch the previous episode, please do well to follow the link on this description and then stream the previous episode. Welcome officially to today's episode of the show. Today is going to be very exciting and very interesting because I have with me here in the studio someone very spectacular, someone very unique, a young lady who has decided to use her time to create impact in the life of other young people around her. I don't want to say too much about her because she will also have the opportunity to introduce herself. So without saying too much, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome on the show Rasheedat Balogun, also known as RB.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you very much for honoring our invitation. So how are you doing?
I'm doing great, and you?
I'm fine. You look calm and cool. Alright, so welcome to the show. Alright, quickly I want you to use 1 minute to kind of introduce yourself to the audience because our people they talk say now who get man, I get prayers. So just introduce yourself to our viewers. 1 minute.
Thank you. My name is Rasheedat Balogun. I'm mostly known as RB. I use RB for most of my works. I'm a media personality, media consultant, and I'm a mental health advocate. I am also a poet, a filmmaker, and a content creator. I mostly create content around mental health. Even as a filmmaker, most of my documentaries are around mental health. And even my poems are mostly about issues on mental health. So yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, well, welcome to the show. We are so delighted to have you. Now, I want you to walk us through your personal journey and what actually motivated you to being so passionate about this whole mental health advocacy.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I think in my second year, I think I struggled a bit with my mental health, and if there's anything that I knew was actually very challenging then was ignorance. So after that, I decided that okay, I got to know that mental health is real, but then there are millions of people out there that don't know that mental health is real.
Yeah.
And I decided to take it upon myself to tell people, anyone I see, as far as I'm able to do so, that okay, mental health is real, and it doesn't mean madness as people usually think it is.
Yeah.
It's something that your mental health might not be in a good state, and it will definitely affect how you behave, how you act, and the rest. And so I took it upon myself to educate people about it, and over the years I have used, especially the fact that I am a master's holder of mass communication, I'm using my skills to advocate for mental health. So as I create content about mental health, I write about mental health. So yeah, that's my journey. So I'm just so passionate about getting the message out there, educating people about mental health.
Now, very, very, very nice, very interesting. Now, mental health, although is a term that we are somehow, somehow we are conversant with it due to some of the activities going on. But I just wanted to, in a very simple terms, just tell us what mental health is all about. And then, as a mental health advocate, what are those common misconceptions that you've encountered in this field of mental health, and how did you?
Okay, so in process of defining what mental health is, I think I'm going to be tackling one misconception. So when people talk about when they hear mental health, they automatically think maybe depression. If they don't even think depression, they think craziness. Yeah. So but then mental health is the state of your mental and emotional well-being. So we look at it this way: the same way we have the state of our physical health, and so you don't have any headache, or you have a headache, you have a leg pain, you don't have a leg pain, you have a stomach pain, you have a stomach pain. Those things are the state of your physical health. But then when we look at the state of our mental health, is okay, are we in a very good place emotionally? Are we able to withstand trauma? Is the trauma that we encountered, is it taking a toll on us? Are we struggling in terms of our behavior, in terms of assimilating things? So stuff like that is what our mental health is all about. So in our mental health, we have, if someone is struggling with their mental health, if someone has been diagnosed with depression, if someone is mourning a loss, and then so some people, you see them, the way they will react to losing someone is different from the way another person will react, and that's because of our state of mental health. So yes, mental health is the opposite of the physical health. When we're looking at physical health, our mental health is also the state of our emotional well-being, which is very important. And so, talking about misconceptions, one of the major misconceptions is how people don't take it important, and they take it for granted. So when you say to someone, why don't you go and say therapies, and they're like, who therapist help? Stuff like that. And we spend money to see the doctor for our physical health, but then we don't want to see the doctor for our mental health. And I don't think it's really anyone's fault, because we are in a country right now, and even globally, we are fighting for prioritization of mental health. So you see health insurance for physical health, but then there's no really insurance for mental health. And because of that, it makes access to mental health care very expensive. And so I don't usually blame people who say they don't want to go and see therapist, because they're like, now we don't chop, they go therapist place. So yes, that's
and you said something about global sensitization. There has been a lot of stuff going on globally and locally, just like what you are doing to create awareness, sensitization on mental health. How effective do you think that has been so far to provide support to people who have mental health challenges and difficulties?
Thank you very much for that question. So as of 2017, when I got into mental health advocacy, mental health was basically like something that the stigma was, if I'm to rate it from 1 to 10, the stigma then was like a 10, and if I'm to rate it now, it's like a 6. And that just shows that over the years, a lot of things have happened. I think a lot of efforts have been made over the years. I won't even fail to acknowledge the help of NGOs that have decided to focus on mental health. They've done a lot in terms of education, advocacy, awareness, trying to provide access to counseling services at no cost. So over the years, a lot of effort I've made. I mean, I recently learned that we have a mental health department in the Ministry of Health. That's a big development. And recently, like this year, at the ongoing United Nations General Assembly, mental health is actually a topic that is being deliberated on. And also, even in Nigeria, we are looking into the decriminalization of the suicide law. I don't know if you know, but then in Nigeria, if you attempt suicide, you get arrested and you might be jailed for like a year. So that means,
is that actually effective?
Yes.
It's still on
so like it's a law, but we're trying to cancel it. So right now, if someone attempts suicide and the person does not pull through, the person will be arrested and jailed.
Okay, that's what was happening before.
Yes, that's what's happening now. Yes, so we are trying to make it, we are trying to decriminalize it, and this is with the help of a lot of NGOs coming together to say no, it should not be criminalized, because these are people that need help, not taking them to prison, that kind of thing. So over this, and this is not something that was being spoken about years ago. And also another good thing that happened in January, the former president Muhammad Buhari signed the mental health bill, and this is after years and years, because the last law was like in 1956 or something. It was like a colonial law about mental health, and at that time it said that mental health is lunacy. It's even termed the lunacy law. So to show how much, so a lot of things have, in fact, a lot of things have improved. A lot of things have gone well since over the years, and I'm very glad with the present state of mental health awareness in Nigeria. We are not where we want to be, but I think we're getting there.
At least we are not where we used to be.
No, we are not where we used to be.
All right, so we just spoke about mental health challenges. Now, I wanted to, as an experienced professional in the field, I just wanted to give us some examples of mental health conditions, and some possible causes of those kind of conditions.
Okay, to answer that question, I'll also say it in okay, so I think one thing that is a trend nowadays is people just calling mental health disorders to themselves because they feel certain type of way. But then I would want people to understand that mental disorders mental health disorders is diagnosed after different criteria, and
like after different stages.
No, after like when they see certain criteria in you, then you are diagnosed with a particular mental health disorder.
Yeah.
So, for example, now a lot of people, maybe they are feeling down and they are like, no, they are depressed. Maybe they are just feeling down. Meanwhile, depression is that you are in a down state for like 2 weeks.
Oh, that's actually
for like 2 weeks. You are down for 2 weeks. You don't have the things you used to enjoy. You don't like doing them anymore. You don't feel like getting up from bed, even though everyone exhibits these symptoms differently. But then depression is more than just I'm feeling down. No, it doesn't even work like that at all. Bipolar is at one point you are very down, and then at one point you are very happy, like so excited, and you are going on shopping spree. You are doing things that people are like, this person does not used to do like this before. So and same goes for other mental health disorders. We have schizophrenia, we have anxiety disorders, and we feel anxious a lot of times. But the anxiety disorders is that it's affecting you. You don't get to do things because of you are anxious. It's affecting your life. I think one important thing to note about mental disorders is that it affects your productivity. Definitely. It affects what you do. So yes, it's a sign that this is not normal. Like it's not a normal feeling. So when something is affecting how you behave, same goes for OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. So you see people saying, okay, I'm a neat freak, I like color coding, and they're like, oh, it's like I have OCD. But no, people that actually have OCD are going through worse. So someone that has OCD will wash his or her hand, and then they keep scrubbing, just because they feel it's not neat. Their hand will be turning red, but then they still keep scrubbing. That's a mental health disorder. So mental disorders are very complicated than what people make it seem to be, even though yes, and then people don't really like show it, and it's not really like something that is on the face. That's another thing. Unlike maybe physical problem, if I break my leg, if I bandage it, you can see that okay, I broke my leg. But then if I'm going through stuff, you might not even, especially if maybe I'm the breadwinner of my house, I'm definitely just have to push everything. I'm going to have to push everything aside because I have to just continue. Things like that. So yeah, that's that's something about mental health.
Wow, thank you so much. I really hope our listeners are really learning a lot from today, because it looks like a masterclass on mental health. All right, so there's been this speculation that social media also contribute to mental health. And I want, from your own perspective, do you think social media has that influence on our mental health?
Okay, thank you. So my master's project was actually on the impact and effect of social media on students' mental health.
Wow.
And also, I'm also working on a documentary about how social media affects young people, getting people's opinion on how social media has affected them positively, negatively. And I can say that social media over the years, or at least presently, it's like, I think it's an equal thing. It affects people 50-50. It affects people positively, it affects people negatively, especially for mental health. So why do I say so? So for understanding what mental health is, getting knowledge about mental health, you most likely hear about it through social media.
Yes.
And at the same time, social media is a tool that people are getting so addicted to. Number one, people are getting this kind of obsession with other people's life through social media, and it's affecting their own mental health. People are also like comparing their life to other people on social media, even though we should know that social media is just like, it's just there's a lot of things behind the scene. So yes, it's like a 50-50 thing. I got to know about mental health through Instagram, so I stumbled on a particular mental health NGO page, and I'm like, these are similar to the things I'm struggling to. And automatically, like, so I credit social media for making me understand what mental health is. I think that's why I use social media to communicate mental health messages most, because I feel like social media is that one tool to get your message out there. So yes, in as much as it's a very good tool, it also has its negative side. But at the end of the day, I think it's just our responsibility to balance it out. We learn from it, we use it wisely, we take breaks from it, we are not always on it, except maybe if you are making your source of living from there. But then, even if you are making your source of living, there should be time in which you disconnect and face the real world, and take your mind off social media at least for a while. So it has both the positive and negative effects.
Nice. So that means what you basically say is that you need to have total control of your social media, what you consume on social media, and what you allow to influence you from social media. Like, you just use social media for a very positive aspect, like getting to learn about mental health from social media. Now, still talking about social media, that leads me to your program that you do on social media, talking mental health with RB for 1 minute. It's a very short program. I usually enjoy it. Okay, so just tell us briefly about the program.
Okay, thank you. So in 2020, during the COVID, I wasn't doing anything. Everyone was on lockdown, and then I felt like, okay, let me start something on my YouTube page. I've by that time I'd volunteered with several mental health NGOs, and I'm like, okay, I studied mass communication. I should be able to use my media to do something for mental health. And so I started my YouTube channel, and I was creating content, even though I wasn't really consistent. So earlier this year, I decided that why don't I do like short form content instead of the long form content I used to do. And I wasn't even posting on Instagram prior to this year. So I decided that, okay, I'll name it Talking Mental with RB in 1 minute. And that 1 minute, I'm to say at least basic information about a particular mental health disorder or mental health information in less than 1 minute. And so I started, and so far I've been consistent, and the impact has been beautiful. I've met people through what I do, and I've been able to impact a lot of people. People have learned a lot from it, and it's just a beautiful thing. At least if there's anything I like about it, the fact that I've been consistent. And that's basically what the program is about, just my way of sharing what I've learned and what I still keep learning to the world.
Talking about impact, I must say I really enjoyed that program very much. That's one of the reasons I had to invite you to the show, so that you can get to share with my audience here about the program. So guys, I want you, if you are watching this video, please just follow the description in this video, or follow the name on this that is displaying right now to Abby on Instagram. Follow Abby on Instagram. You get to see a lot of amazing things she's doing around mental health. She's really creating impact on mental health. Follow her and you will thank me for it. Alright, so Abby, we have been talking about mental health. How can friends and family, loved ones be of support to people who might be going through a certain kind of mental health disorder or difficulties in their lives?
Okay, thank you for that question. So first of all, I would like to say that friends and family should know that they are not therapists to their loved ones, and they can't even be therapists, because it's unethical for a psychologist or a psychiatrist to treat their loved one. So
their family
member is unethical. So if you are a family member or a friend to someone who is going through mental health challenges, the best you can do is to first of all get them professional help. Apart from getting professional help for them, follow up on their treatment. Let them attend their sessions. Let them take their medications if need be. Let them do their assignments if need be. Let them know that you are there for them if they need someone to talk to. That you're a non-judgmental listening ear. Be empathic with them. Let them know that they are not alone, and even though you don't understand what they are going through, you can't even understand what they are going through, but then you are ready to listen, and that will really go a long way in helping them. And also for friends and families who are taking care of someone who is dealing with a mental health challenge, take care of yourself too. It can get really overwhelming.
It can be contagious.
Something like that. It's kind of like a mental stress. You are taking mental stress on yourself. Because you are dealing with someone who is going through mental health challenges, and if you are not careful, you would also take some of it. So yeah, take care of yourself. When you see it getting too much, take a break. Let them know that okay, you need some time to yourself. They will definitely understand. But at the end of the day, don't do more than you don't. Okay, for example, now you know that you're a very busy person and you're like, call me anytime, I'll pick your call. That's like making fake promises, and then the person is in middle of a mental health crisis, or maybe the person needs someone to talk to urgently.
Yeah.
And then the person tries your number and then it's not going. That
kind
somehow
of increases the mental health.
True. So say what you can do. Say okay, maybe send the text to me, and as soon as I receive the message, I'm going to get across to you. Things like that. You don't need to be that perfect superhero for them. They don't need that. They just need someone to validate them, to let them know that yes, things will get better. But we have to get help. We have to if they say use your drug, and yes, and things like that. So yeah, you can be a good support system. In fact, they need you to be a good support system to them, and to always be there for them.
All right. So talking about support, can you help us with any organizations that, in case people are watching this video, can get through to get help if they are passing through any phase of this mental health?
Okay. I can talk about 4 organizations that I know that they have toll-free numbers. I know of She Rights Woman. I know of Mani, Mentally Aware Nigeria Initiative. I know of Sunshine Wellness, and I also know of Here Foundation Africa. They have numbers in which you can call, and you're not going to get charged, and you're going to get counseling support. You're going to get someone to talk to. And also, if you feel like, okay, the thing is nowadays there are so many. In fact, I've lost count of mental health NGOs. Like I see new mental health NGOs every day, and that's a very good and wonderful thing.
Yeah.
So yes, a lot of mental health NGOs are coming up. Some are focusing on religion. So like you see a Christian-based mental health NGO, you see a Muslim-based mental health NGO, or you see for a particular area, so you see a mental health NGO that is focused on Africa, focused on Nigeria, focused on a particular area. So yes, a lot of mental health NGOs are out there. Get your Instagram, or get your Google, browse mental health NGOs, and you're going to see something. And most of them are offering mental health care and support. And yes, that will really go a long way. And also recently, I learned of an app that just came up. So it's like a chat GPT for mental health.
Oh, it's actually AI powered.
AI powered, and it also comes in multiple languages. It's for Africans, and apart from the fact that it's like you can chat with it, it also has like communities, and the app is called Friend and Pal. You can download that. It also has access to therapists, and it also has something like self-help resources. Self-help resources, so you get to see that on that app, and it has other features, and I'm sure they're also adding other features that can also make the app better, so you can download that too for a start. So yeah, those are the ones that I know of.
All right guys, so if you look at the description of this video, you will see the links that she has just mentioned. We'll do an endeavor to just go through the links, and then you can get the necessary help that you need. Okay, so now talking about mental health, now, for someone who has a particular mental health challenge, to actually get help they need, it requires them to be vulnerable. Now, and some people cannot be vulnerable because of their privacy, the trust issues you get. I'm just meeting you for the first time. How do you expect me to just open up to you like that?
Sure.
So what do you think are those challenges, and how can they overcome it so that they can really get the kind of help that will help them?
Okay, I think I would for a question like this, I would say I would use the physical health for an example.
Yeah.
So we go to the hospital, and sometimes we need to like undress in front of the doctor. We don't say okay, we want our privacy, and so even if whatever is doing us, the doctor has to like scan or examine, and then okay, we're like, nah, I'm not going to take off my clothes, that kind of thing. We don't say that for our physical health. Yeah. So when you know, or when you feel like you're going through mental health issues, talk to someone. It will, the highest that would happen is that the person will be like, not be only you, they go through a lot. But as a person, you should also know the type of person you approach to talk to. So you have to know that this person is a mental health first aider, or this person is someone who has emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
someone who has emotional intelligence skills is also someone who you can talk to, and at least that person won't give you an 100% solution, but at least 50%, the person might direct you to where you get help.
Yeah.
The person might direct you to self-help resources, because I believe that not everybody needs to see a psychologist. Some people just need to talk it out. I'm a mental health first aider. I get clients that they just talk with me and they feel a bit better.
Yes.
So not everybody.
People used to say a problem shared is half solved. The art of expression.
True. And sometimes you just need someone to untangle. Okay, so maybe the solution is also in that your story.
Yeah.
But then you just need someone to
help you figure things out.
Show you that this is the solution that you're saying, and that's all. So sometimes you just need to talk to someone, be vulnerable. If you can go to the hospital, talk to your doctor about your problems. You should be also able to talk to someone about your mental health problems. It's for your own good. It won't do anyone any good. It's just for your own good. Whatever consequences comes out of it is on you. And like one thing that I love about this app that I just mentioned is the anonymity. So you can register with a name that doesn't say who you are. Yeah. So you can be in a community with someone who is related to you, but then the person won't know you because of the anonymity features. And most of these NGOs I talked about, their counseling support unit is confidentiality 100%, and you're 100% anonymous. It's unethical for a professional to expose you as someone that said a particular thing or something. Yeah. So definitely confidentiality, anonymity is something that mental health professionals prioritize. So yeah, feel safe, talk to someone. Keeping silent will not help you at all. Like you'll just be killing yourself slowly, and if not for anything, you're not going to fulfill your potentials, because so when you're supposed to be reaching for 100, because of what you're struggling with, you are reaching for a 50, and
that's not even be up to 57.
It might not even be up to 50. True. Yeah. So yes, speak out, and one person would listen to you. It won't do you any harm. Speak out.
Thank you so much. Now, looking at ourselves, we have skincare routines. We have medical routines, we have exercise routines.
True.
Now, mental health, the way I see is like, let me say, like a bigger percentage of the help you need is actually from you.
True.
It doesn't matter what the therapist or the professional is telling you, but if you are not ready to heal, you will not heal.
Honestly.
Yes. So that is it. So now, as a professional now, I want you to help us, give us a kind of like self-care routines that can help us to protect our mental health, or should I say self-care routine or mental health care routine, if there's something like that, because I believe there should be something like mental health care routine, just like we have your skin care, hair care and everything. So what are those ways we can individually, those things we can do to protect our mental health?
Oh, okay. So before I say about that, I want to say that, okay, as usual, I'll go back to using physical health as an example. So you see things like, okay, they will tell you to avoid malaria, use mosquito nets.
Yeah.
So or use fleet. So those
sleep under insecticide treated nets.
They say things like that. So that's like a way of telling you that, okay, yes, malaria is real, but then there's a way to prevent it.
Yeah.
And at the same time, if you now still have malaria, there's anti-malaria. But then most people, to be on the safe side, it's better to not get to the stage where you use anti-malaria.
Yeah.
So for mental health, we live in a society whereby we are faced with a lot every day. I mean, Nigeria is not even helping matters. Being in Nigeria will just affect your mental health as a whole. But then as an individual, what can you do for yourself? Number one, avoid any toxicity, any form of toxicity. So for example, we might be surrounded with people that maybe make us feel bad about ourselves every day.
Yeah.
Or we might be in an environment that just affects us, that is so draining. If you can get yourself out of that situation, you are helping yourself. Also, avoid your triggers. If people look closely inwards, they would realize that certain things makes them feel so down, makes them want to give up, makes them not want to live life anymore. If they notice things like that, when you notice that, okay, so thing will trigger me, you stay away from it. So for me, for example, I used to be someone obsessed with horror movies and scary movies, and at a point I realized that it's actually like was taking a toll on my mental health, and I stopped. So recently there was this documentary that I think won an award, and I was like, okay, I want to study, because as a documentary filmmaker I study a lot of documentaries, and I was like, okay, let me watch this documentary to see what it is all about and why it won the awards. Even though yes, I watched it and I learned from it, but for like a week I wasn't myself because it was
horror.
so. It wasn't even horror, but it was so depressing because it's about like death. So from the beginning, they are like, okay, these people are obsessed about volcanoes, and then they ended up dying through a volcano explosion. So you see their journey as people who are so obsessed with volcanoes, studying a couple so obsessed about volcanoes, and then they end up dying by volcanoes, and it took a toll on me. That's just the truth. And at the end of the day, I'm just like, okay, yes, anything depressing, anything horror, anything that I know that is going to bring down my mood. No, I don't want to watch it, even though I kind of cannot do away with it. As a filmmaker, you kind of get stories, but then I try as much as possible to stay away from things like that. So generally, we have our triggers. We should try as much as possible to stay away from our triggers. And apart from that, okay, we should also have boundaries. So as humans, people walk into our lives, come and go, have your boundary. And when you have your boundary, you are saying, okay, this is what I can tolerate. This is what I cannot tolerate.
So that will help you to filter the kind of people that you let into your life.
Yes, it will go a long way in filtering it. And also, we should prioritize self-care. We love people more than we love ourselves. We talk to people that, okay, get better. We don't say those things to ourselves. We should prioritize self-care. If you need to rest. You as usual, you're not helping any other person, you're helping yourself. Rest when you're supposed to rest. Do the things you're supposed to do. Make yourself happy. Sometimes you walk, you don't even take time to like, what's that thing that is going to make me very happy? Let me do it for myself. And it's not even necessarily expensive. So it doesn't need to be expensive. It can be just going to in front of maybe a lake or a park and just
taking a walk.
Or just taking the natural breeze, the natural environment, and sucking it in. At least things like that will really go a long way. We are so obsessed with just going. We don't sometimes take the time to pause and observe the things around us. So self-care is very, very important. It will really go a long way. These things will help us even if we struggle with our mental health, even if we have depression. These are things that you still have to be doing to keep your depression in check. If you see a psychologist, these are some of the things your psychologist will tell you. So if you don't do them, you are not doing anyone. It's just yourself. And also when we do mental health routines, as we call them, it helps us to stay grounded when trauma comes. So trauma is something that we don't see coming in our lives.
It just happens.
It just comes at us, and then you realize that some people handle trauma differently than others, and then you see something like, this person don't even cry, that this person, even though the person not crying might actually be a problem, because the day the person will eventually cry,
they might be nobody there to comfort the person,
and it will even be funny at all. What are you crying for exactly? And also you see some people, they lose someone and they are at peace, like, okay, that person they don't have, not like they wanted the person to die, but then they are just so at peace with the whole thing. And then some people are just so
crying all over
the place. They are not happy. Nobody is happy, but then they express it differently. And also
sorry to cut you. Talking about crying, men hardly cry. Like in our society, you cannot, as a man, you are not permitted to cry. You get it? So those kind of things get into our lives. As a man, you don't express yourself in terms of crying. You just take it in and absorb it. Growing up, you used to hear like adults, if something happened to a boy, they might say, why are you crying? Are you again? You stand like, hey, you are a man. So from that age, you are being told that as a man, it's not okay, you don't have to cry. So you are growing up with that kind of pressure, with that kind of mentality, and then you are getting to see the society that we hear that is not even welcoming at all. So how do you think a man can navigate this mental? Because I think this mental health has a lot of effect on men.
True.
Because recently the suicide cases, the highest percentage has been on young people, young guys.
True.
So how do you think men can work their way around this, expressing themselves whenever they have issues like that?
As a man, you should take charge for yourself. Like at the end of the day, no one would care about you the way you care about yourself. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to let this stress out, as far as you're not aggressively letting it out on anyone, let it out. You need to, because at the end of the day, because of that, yes, our society is not even friendly at all. But then men go through mental health issues. Men go through a lot of mental health issues,
and they're not even showing it.
They don't show it. They're expected to lock it in, and it affects them one way or the other. Like it affects, like you locking it in does not mean it does not have any effect. It has effects.
It's there.
It's there. So men should try as much as possible. If they need therapy, they should go for therapy. Take charge of their mental health. I feel like at this point, the world isn't even looking at you are a man, you are a woman anymore. Because suicide is not even looking at gender.
Yeah.
Suicide is the fourth leading cause of death among young people. Meanwhile, you as a young person, they'll be like, you that you are just living, you are just starting life. What are you thinking of that is making you want to kill yourself? So at the end of the day, we are all responsible for our lives. No one is. I don't think we should consider what society is saying anymore, because at the end of the day, it's just we and ourselves. So as a man, take charge of your life. Know when things are getting to you. Know when you are getting to that red mark that I can't take this anymore. Know when your mental health is at stake. Care for yourself. Prioritize yourself. Don't think of society said that cry. Highest you just cry in secret that nobody will see you, but then cry if you need to, because it's very important. Some people's way of letting it all out is through crying, and so cry. We shouldn't listen to societal stereotypes anymore. We've passed that, because reality has set in. I think after COVID, people had to throw away all those societal stereotypes, because everybody
we all felt it.
We all felt it. We all felt it. So we should throw away all those stereotypes and take charge of our mental health. At the end of the day, it's just us. And so take care of your mental health. Get therapy. Don't feel ashamed of seeking help. You are human. We are all it's blood that is running through our veins. So it's not like you're one super hero or one robot. So yeah, we all have feelings, and we have emotions, and automatically our mental health might not be stable, or it can be stable. So yes, get help if need be. Take care of yourself. Put yourself first. Yeah, as a man, consider yourself
first.
Consider yourself first.
So my guy, you don't hear and finish. As a man, consider yourself first. So because if you die now, the highest way they feed you now, RIP. They put you for WhatsApp.
I was a good soul.
Now nobody's saying anything good about you. If you die now, you will hear so many good things. Even you say for your brain, you go to shop. Say, I mean do this thing. But that's all like that. Alright guys, it has been an exciting and interesting episode here with RB on the show. I hope you actually learned a lot. We learned a lot from RB. She has actually impacted us, given us so much information about mental health. Okay, now so RB, we have come to almost the end of the show. Thank you very much for coming for honoring our invitation. So, but before I let you go, I just wanted to give one last word to young people outside there as it regards their mental health.
Okay, I would say when you hear the term mental health advocacy, don't think that it's a big deal. Mental health advocacy is also you advocating for your own mental health.
Yeah.
So you putting so when you are overstressed from workload and you're saying, okay, I need to take a mental health break, you're advocating for your mental health. When you're saying, okay, this friend is toxic to my life, I need to avoid that toxic friend, you are advocating for your mental health. And when you also now go forward by telling people around you to take care of their mental health, by educating the person next to you about their mental health, you are also doing mental health advocacy. So mental health advocacy is as little as considering yourself first, putting your mental health first. So yes, and we need everyone to be mental health advocates. We need everyone to come on board, because the mental health message is not still where it needs to be. We still have rural communities that people, even though NGOs are doing the work, but then we need more people to go out there. People should be enlightened. There is no he has money, she has money, so she cannot have depression. You cannot have depression. Why are you having depression? Everything is working well for you. There is no mental health disorders. Don't look at race. They don't look at class. They don't look at age. They don't look at status. They don't look at all those things. They just look at you as a person. They don't look at all those things. So everyone needs to get that message. The rich, the poor, the educated, the uneducated. The uneducated, because at least for educated, when you see Instagram messages, you can say, okay, they're talking about depression. uneducated people that speak other languages apart from English need to get the message. So yes, the message has to be there. So we need everyone to come on board to be mental health advocates. Thank you very much.
Wow, guys, that has been RB right here on the Meet Personality Show, educating us on mental health. I hope you learned a lot on the show. There's actually a whole lot we could talk about, but because of time, let's just keep it. So guys, if you really enjoyed the episode, if you have other questions you would like us to address on the show as it regards mental health, or you have other issues you would like RB to address on the show, do well to comment. If we see it much, then we can then extend an invitation to RB to still come on the show again. RB, hope you would.
Sure. Any form of medium to talk about mental health.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. All right, guys. So that has been the size of the show for you today. Please don't go yet. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow RB. Very, very important. I'm not emphasizing my show now. Follow RB. Follow RB on our Instagram, follow our video on Facebook, follow our channel. I'll post the link here so that you can get the information you need about your mental health, because at Meet Personality Show, you are our priority, and your mental health, without a good mental health, you will not be able to follow us, you will not be able to live to your potential, so that you will also be spotlighted on the show. Thank you very much for watching today's episode of the show. I remain your one and only IT to the OHS with the art. Bye for now.